Hello, welcome back to my channel. This is a fun video because we are taking you behind the scenes of setting up for the Anne Fitzpatrick subscription box doll set of the month. So Christopher takes a lot of time to make our doll sets wonderful, and the theme of this month is Anne's dress-up trunk, and she's wearing this adorable, you're going to see it, but she's wearing this adorable princess dress, and it is so cute and dreamy, and we're going to bring in a lot of different dolls to the set, and we're going to go behind the scenes with Christopher. So come on along and enjoy the ride. Hey, Christopher.
Hello.
Today is a fun day because we are setting up the set for the Anne Fitzpatrick subscription box.
Happy March to our audience. It is time for Anne to happen again. And I don't know, we thought it might be fun to give you a glimpse into what actually goes into presenting the boxes each month. And this is actually maybe not the most elaborate set that we, might ever make or have made so far, but just a little glimpse into like what is a day in the life in the shop. And many of my days are spent thinking about like, how do we best flatter a product or a garment or whatever, and as much as possible, bring it to life for you when showing it off in the unboxing. This is not a very good representation of what's coming in the box, but this is the fashion, and this is how it starts. So we get our products in, and they look like this, and they go through various sort of primping and prepping and priming before, you see them on camera. So if you want, you can follow me over to our set and I'll show you kind of where we're starting and what that looks like. And then I've actually already pressed a couple of the dresses, so you can see sort of where we're starting. And then I'm gonna add in a couple more because I think it's always nice to have various models, but this is our sort of blank canvas. You can see my setup is nothing super glamorous. It's a bunch of card tables and a prayer usually, but I've got some antique silk that I've just sort of strewn over some tables, and we use this a lot. I love this gold fabric. It's really nice and bright without being distracting, and excuse me. I really try to be better than my gas, but I'm just a very gassy person.
This is our reality show,
this is
what did you think about that, Paul?
Nice.
You thought it was good? That was a good one?
Thank you very much. Yeah.
I guarantee you they were not expecting that. We're talking about beautiful silk.
I'm sorry. I try and I often fail. But I will try to not fail, making
It would make a great ringtone.
my belt.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah, a text message alert.
Could you imagine, Paul? Just that over and over and over. Omar, why don't you put it in a few times in the middle?
Please, no, I gotta go. I gotta go.
And that's the end of our film.
Oh, God.
But anyway, back to Dolly stuff. I bought this setup here at the hair salon next door.
It used to be next door.
Yeah.
It used to sit on its side, actually.
Yeah.
We propped it up lengthwise. But it used to be a merchandising shelf for shampoo bottles and hair products and whatever. And for the longest time, it was standing here black, and God bless him, Stanley very kindly amused me one day. And I said, we must paint this shelf. It can't sit here black anymore. And we had some spare paint that we had done the room in, this sort of like nice, very, very, very pale petal peachy pink. And there was enough that he very sweetly, for like multiple days, painted this shelf for me as one of the last things he did before he left. So I'm forever grateful to Stanley for painting this shelf for me. And it took days to dry. It was coats and coats and coats and coats of paint.
Because it was glue.
Yeah, it was a very dark shelf. And now it lives here as sort of a wall for us to staple things to and stage things in front of and string things from. And I've got sort of a permanent installation of ivies that I try to change seasonally. So we're still in a sort of pinky, peachy red tone for Valentine's Day. And that will change just a little bit for March. I'll, lean more into green and springtime. But ramble. Today, I think rather than, what I'll often do is fill the squares with lots of, boxes or relevant props if you've got, something for Christmas like this last season. I used this sort of to begin a hillside of a village, and I staged little teeny tiny houses at the back to try to manipulate, forced perspective. And then that grew all the way to like here, and I had a giant hillside. So I'm grateful that I can use this for, elaborate things, but this will be more straightforward. This will be a little bit simpler. I want to really lean into the princess theme of the box this month. So this will sort of be the proper unveiling, starting point for Anne's costume trunk. We want to play with the idea of a dress-up trunk for Anne that she can go to and whenever she wants to, feel inspired or feel imaginative or, transport herself somewhere else and do something else. So this is a princess ball gown that we've constructed just for this. It's a play dress meant to be very, imaginative and very, very playful.
I love it. It looks like a cake. She looks like a cake sitting there, doesn't it? It's just so fun.
She's a cake come to life. So this will not be the last installment. This might be one of...
the first installment, yeah.
We might have more coming. But anyway, rather than, playing too vaguely with the idea of just a dress-up trunk for this, I wanted to sort of highlight all of the beautiful princess theme and, costume themed dolls that we have here in the shop, and we have a number of them. Something that I regrettably didn't do that I thought of was bringing my own vintage Mattel Barbie Cinderella dolls, the ones from the yellow one from the 60s, and I have both variations of that, so I might still grab those and bring them with me maybe Thursday, next filming day. But in the meantime, I want to stage a couple more of these, press them out, make them look nice and full. We've got some crinolines that we're offering with this project, so they're going to be something you can put underneath the dress. We'll probably stage a couple more of those, make sure that hair looks good, and I'll get, crowns and everything will be, done for those. Make sure everybody has shoes and looks, presentable. And then we'll get some more dolls in the background, and I'll see what else I can do to fluff up the sort of dimension of the table and give it some more heft. So let's go turn on the iron and let that get hot while we scuttle around for dolls.
All right, we're back in our doll repair department, and Christopher is going to press our gown.
This is our dress of the month. We're doing a little princess trunk moment for her. And if it's helpful at all to anybody watching, I'm gonna iron this and you can sort of see what's going on here in person. So this is my little ironing corner as it is now. I try to do everything wet, and we can probably speed through a lot of this so it's not just
Yeah, but it's fun to see.
So I'll really just sort of go to town. It'll dry, whatever you don't directly iron out will dry anyway. And then I'm gonna go through each layer and do each layer separately, which might seem like a nuisance, but, I think it's worth it. And I'm just taking all of the little creases out all the way around if I can. I don't think this is anything, inventive or interesting especially, but it is a necessary part of dolly stuff. And
yeah,
if you're a doll collector, I think the beauty of what we get to do is that you, by virtue of receiving the separate outfit on its own, you are encouraged to dress up the doll.
Absolutely.
Right? And if you're dressing up the doll, you're probably staging the doll and having it on display. And I think if you want, a really, the best experience for displaying your doll, you should iron your stuff. Just consider a little pressing.
It's fun to see you. This brings back a lot of memories because when Linda used to work here, I would come back here at the start of every day. I don't know if you remember, but I'd come back here and sit and talk to her for the first 45 minutes of every day. Mm-hmm. I would just sit right here and we'd catch up on all the doll world stuff. We'd solve every problem in the world. She'd give me baby advice, having had children herself. It was just really nice to have Linda, if you're watching, we miss you.
Every day, Linda. If I could crawl inside of your head for just an afternoon.
Yeah.
She's so funny.
Yeah.
Has a great sense of humor.
Oh yeah, I know.
And
she was a little naughty in her, and just kind of, not, but
unafraid to have fun. She wasn't stuffy. She wasn't uptight. She was really, really sort of intelligent, but lackadaisical.
Yep. That's why everyone enjoyed all the Linda videos, because Linda was Linda.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of people that I like too. They're unapologetically themselves, and that's the kind of people that we are.
Right.
And it's fun. It's fun to look around here. Wow, I just found this chain where we were making these necklaces for Grace, where we had gone to that jewelry store and we were making those necklaces.
I do love that necklace. I'm sure we have some hardware sitting around. I could afford to make a couple more of it.
Oh, it's a whole
chain.
thing of it.
Great
chain. It's actually a really pretty necklace. I really haven't been enjoying, I went through a period of my life where I was really into huge, bold, chunky jewelry. And now I'm really enjoying kind of more
delicate
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get that. I certainly go through waves where like I want to be, you know, color blocking and very eccentric and feel very detailed and highly accessorized, and then there are other, you know, sort of seasons where it's a little bit more like not, you know, simpler, but maybe more subdued.
Yeah.
It just, I don't know, style changes, and like for me, it's always been a way to sort of non-verbally communicate like how I'm feeling and like, you know, how I'm operating in the world. Fashion is something that allows you to be so expressive without saying anything. And I've long since sort of described my own relationship to fashion as both expressive and protective, that it's in some way kind of like armor. And I think the beautiful thing about translating that to dolls is that you don't have to be protective of anything. It's just the fun. And you then are also given permission to do all of the, you know, outrageous, ridiculous things just because they're fun, and you don't have to worry about like how they're perceived.
Right.
You know?
It's doing dolls is as a job is truly a once in a lifetime experience.
Yeah.
It really is. It is so cool. The only thing that would be anything like it is the actual fashion industry. And I think that would be way more stressful.
I agree.
you're dressing real people with real opinions.
Yeah.
Forget that.
Well, and then you're also with like a different scale of, you know, corporate execs and, you know, marketing and all of that sort of stuff is like so different for a, you know, human client, whereas you're doing so much projecting in the world of dolls, or you're doing, you know, none at all. It's either like understanding that what you're doing is for a very small mannequin, while at the same time ensuring that you know, the character of that mannequin is consistent, right? It's wonderful. It's so unlike anything I've ever done, and frankly is even more like enjoyable than I was expecting. Like, I didn't know what to expect when I first started this job. It was so different every day. Truly every day was like, oh, we're doing this today. And I remember one day I came in, and that Christmas room, you had been talking about, you know, redoing it, and you weren't happy with the way it looked and whatever. And then one day I came in, and like 70% of it was just like, it had just poofed, you know?
It had arrived, or it had gone?
No, it had gone away. You decided that like you'd had enough of, you know, whatever stuff there that, you know, that you didn't want anymore, and it was migrated to storage. And it was pretty early on when I started, and I was like, okay, so I understand how the pace of this job is going to go. And that was very indicative of every day is different, and every day is, you know, presents a different sort of expectation or challenge or whatever. Yeah. And this doll shop it's got decades of character and of, you know, personalities. I wish that I could meet so many of the people that were foundational in creating what this is.
Well, and having lived through so much of that, our mother, Paul's Filming, owned the shop 3 years before I was born, and so I was literally a newborn here. And there's been a lot of layers, but also I'm really leaning into just so much enjoying what we're doing here now.
Yeah.
On just, I think it's like epic. Like, as far as our shop's history, yes, there's a lot of wonderful, rich history, but we are creating history right now because what we have been able to accomplish over the last couple of years, and just it's been a year and a half where it's been Paul and Christopher and I, and to go from what it was to what it is now is it's not like, to me, I don't look back on the good old days as like, oh, those were really the days. These are the days for me. Like, there's been so many different iterations of this shop. After 40 years of still surviving and being in business. Of course it's going to be different, but I know at some point in my life, I will look back on right now and the fun we had, and the setting up all of the boxes and the film sets, and the hitting the road and going and seeing our customers and the Tonner dinners and all that.
Well, and I was just telling you yesterday that I was already feeling, as we were 4 months after the fact, putting the last of our decorations from October away, I was telling you then that I was already feeling nostalgic for that. It was such a wonderful event, and like, I know that it came with its own enormous stressors and like unprecedented sort of expectations, but with that, like, I I look back on that with such fondness already, and that was just 4 months ago. And
It feels like longer,
right,
doesn't
right.
it?
It feels like, it's
Well,
know,
UFDC is coming up in 4 months.
that's insane. That's insane.
I know.
I hadn't done that math yet this year.
It's this summer. Spring is almost here, and then
right.
summer is right there. So if you're going to be at UFDC in Norfolk, Virginia, let us know.
Yeah, come say hi.
Yeah, we'd love to see you, and let me know if you're going to be there ahead of time. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And then, of course, we have our Ohio events. So we have a very, very busy year.
It's a stacked year once again.
I didn't realize that you were doing, I mean, I should have known, but you're doing all the layers, and then you're using that cute little ham to get all the little nooks.
These were from Tamara's mother, and actually I've got her kit right here. This is from House of O'Brien. Thank you. Shout out to Tamara's mom. These are so nice. Tamara was actually, when she gifted these to us, she was like, give a shout out to my mom, because she'd be so happy to know that we're using them.
Oh, good.
And I use them all the time. So these are genius hams. You can use them for any number of things. She's given me several, and I have an array of hams. I use them all the time. But these are quite nice, and they are so versatile because they're encased and they're fluffy and they're bendable, and yeah, not all of them, but some that have more egregious wrinkles I will sort of pass over. But it's this sort of, this is the detail that goes into taking listing photos and ensuring that when you see a picture of something, it looks its best from every angle.
Yeah.
It's not just preparing one face of a garment, it's ensuring that under any lighting and with any hair combination or, styling of shoes, like it still lays as nicely as possible and evokes excitement in the way that I would want to see it as a customer. So
by not doing all the layers, think of it this way. It would be like just shaving the fronts of your legs and not the backs. That's
exactly.
That's what I feel like it is.
Exactly.
And depending on some of the guys that I was going on a date with, sometimes I just shave the fronts.
Sure. Or just from
the
knee down.
Oh yeah, well, that's all I do now.
Sure.
Or what I used to do sometimes when I'd go out with my friends, I would just, if I had open-toed shoes, I'd just paint the toes that were shown through the shoe and not the rest of the toes.
Right. Yeah, because you're not planning on, needing to take them off when you're with people.
So funny.
And pro tip, when you drop your iron, don't grab it by the iron like I just tried to.
That's a really good tip.
Yeah. Use the handle that was given to you. Okay, I'll do a couple more of these, but you get the gist. This is sort of the preparation that goes into, pressing a dress. This might be slightly more tedious or time-consuming than some of our other garments are. Some are very easy, and then some come more wrinkled or less wrinkled than others, and what have you. But I just want to get just sort of the most annoying ones, the biggest wrinkles that come in your situation. And then this, as it's, freshly pressed, I find that, your work is ruined more often than not if you, after you're done, just plop it down or, lay it on top of something, or even worse, underneath something else. Don't be, so thoughtless as I have been. Have your model staged and ready, and then you can put it on directly. In the instance that you have a model that is in a really specific, factory set hairdo, be mindful of dressing over the head or something like that. And with this, this is one of the basics that I would like to do a boil set on. So maybe one of our videos soon will be restyling Anne's hair, because I think that's overdue. I want to give her some curls, some volume. But that feels good to me. I might just do a little bit of this around the collar, and then for the sake of the video, this will be sufficient. So
yeah, that looks really good.
Now that's
if you don't want to press it, you can use a crinoline, but
totally. Well, and you'll get the same, the volume will always be there, but you won't necessarily get rid of the texture. And maybe you don't care as much about, minute details like I do. And that's, more power to you, better for you. There are bigger issues in the world than a wrinkled pinafore, but
it takes the outfit from looking like not ho-hum, but it makes it actually look like a new garment.
It comes alive, yeah.
Look at the difference.
I think that is so lovely. It just, yeah.
It's the little back curls. Are they pulled?
Oh,
Just needs to be, okay. It just needed to be pulled down a little bit. There's little tears.
Yeah. And what's nice is actually, these are just elastic. So the way that it's sort of...
It's so cute.
Ruched will give you the option to more easily, maneuver ironing that as you please. So you've got 3 layers of tulle over the base of the skirt, and then on top of that is your like big bouffant fluffy overskirt.
There's 3?
1, 2, 3 layers of tulle.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So-
it does make a big difference, and there's no crinoline now. Once you have a crinoline, it's like...
Yeah, it just fills all the negative space. So the actual size won't be dramatically different.
Yeah.
But all of the sort of the natural falls of the fabric that give you sort of a natural wave will just be sort of inflated. And I might even just, without putting any pressure on the dress or the doll, just sort of going right up against that sort of shoulder ruffle. What I want to do is make sure that there's not like a super sharp point. And I think just by exposing that to heat rather than trying to, you know, lay it flat and really get in there, that's sufficient. You don't need something that's going to be aggressive. I just want to sort of dust any sort of sharpness out of that peak, if that makes any sense at all. And that just gives it a little bit of a softer lay on the shoulder. So that's about what that looks like. Now that she is prepared, I'm going to ensure that I'm not wasting my time by putting her immediately in a stand and then doing absolutely nothing else to this dress until I don't need to photograph it or film it anymore. So we'll do a little bit of hair prep, pop on some shoes, and maybe play with my accessories bin and see what I can sort of throw in there with it, and stage the rest of them. And in the meantime, let's go look at some other dolls to stage in set.
Yeah, we're gonna go look at...
Prepared the table and it's done, and then I need to like work behind it without disrupting what I'm doing, and that's never a great idea. My mantra is, you know, do the background before the foreground. Don't rush the foreground. So I'm gonna put in some dolls that we have around the shop and sort of fill in the space. I want them to sort of feel like they're kind of cascading in all of the cubes and feel really organic in the space. And we've got a lot. So on the theme of princesses, my first thought is certainly our Madame Alexander's.
Yes.
Let's go look at Cinderella and see what we've got there. So I'm gonna grab our Miss Cindy, naturally. She's such a perfect addition to this. And she's one of the bigger ones. So I'm gonna fit her in the wall in a place that sort of occupies more negative space. And also being mindful of like, where would someone in the video be standing? So like when we position Rachel, what are you gonna see around her head and like behind her?
Very important. I'm concentrating on this, but I just have to share this with all of you. This is so fun. I just got a notification from Hollanday in school. They brought in a tortoise.
They brought in a what?
Look at this tortoise. And there's Holland's hair, but look at this tortoise.
Oh my gosh.
He's eating turnip greens.
She has the coolest school.
Doesn't she have, look at her hair, that's her. Isn't that so fun? I would have passed away if they brought a giant tortoise to my school when I was growing up.
100%.
Right?
100%.
A big old Galapagos, I don't know if that's a Galapagos tortoise, but that is a big tortoise just sitting there eating turnip greens in the gym. Oh my goodness. Her school is just wonderful. It really is. We just feel so blessed that she gets to have all these wonderful experiences. Oh, and they brought in a snapping turtle. Oh my goodness, there's a snapping. It's kind of hard to see in the picture, but they brought in a snapping turtle too. Park Safari. And just earlier this week, they had somebody bringing in bugs. Gosh, they have lizards. Oh, look at the snake. They brought in a boa constrictor.
That's where I draw the line. Absolutely not.
Look, I know, snakes are tough, but look at that.
Oh, no thank you.
I know we're here for dolls, but I got this notification and it was just too fun not to share.
To be a tortoise enjoying a salad
Oh, there's
an audience.
And there she is petting the snake. Look, that's my Holland Diane petting the boa constrictor. That's so cute. Now she's gonna want one. Hard pass.
You think? She does love animals.
And I love animals, but snakes are tough for me.
Yeah. No.
I would save a snake. I would do any. I will donate to the snake charity. But snakes are the ones that I just wouldn't prefer to have as a pet. I really do like dogs and cats. But anyway, back to dolls. This is one of my favorite dolls in the whole shop.
I love her.
She is everything.
This dress is one of the best like in the whole world. I love this dress. So generally we find that like this is a pretty good position for anybody to be standing in the video, and it shows the background and it shows the table and it shows the props and whatever we're using. And so I try to be mindful of what does this frame look like when you get really close. So she's going to be a nice prop there. I also want to use our own take on Cinderella.
Oh yeah.
Which is maybe my other classic favorite. my sort of
Oh my gosh. Every time.
the Brandy Cinderella is the superior Cinderella.
Every
I'm
time.
so proud of this dress.
Ruby Red Galleria made this, and every time I see this, I
know.
just cannot.
I know.
This is one of my. We recently redid our homepage, and this is on the homepage.
As it should be.
Yeah.
The crowning jewel. I think
Yeah.
she's so incredible. So I'm thinking she might need to be taller. I can put like something underneath her, but I think that's probably where I'll place this little lady. Yeah, I try to be mindful of texture and of color. If I'm using blue, how much of it am I using? Is it dispersed? You know, that sort of stuff. So let me go grab a little riser for her. Oh, I should do Alice. That's another sort of, not exactly a princess, but a costume. And we were doing so much, you know, delightful costuming over the last season. So maybe I'll pop her in somewhere over here and see how that feels. Get another little sort of balance of sky blue. And we've got our Grace Under the Sea, which will be, you know, an obvious choice. Some bright pops of color, that sort of neon red and cobalt.
I love this theme of, because it's a dress-up trunk, there are so many different things, but using the different Disney princesses, or if she wasn't a princess, we still think of Alice as like our, you know, princess.
She's a costume.
So fun,
right?
yeah.
So if I can like, I mean, it's arguable that like just about anything is a costume for dolls.
Pretty much, yeah.
Right? But like, I want to incorporate things that are sort of overtly costumes. We did this for Halloween as a costume for Anne. So this, I think, will make a good addition. And she might even just be nice sort of perched back here. We'll get some other dolly moments happening. So this you'll see, or you've already seen, is our sort of sister set add-on. And I like this corner to be something to highlight, but not, you know, take up the whole thing. So we'll sort of fuss with this and see how it looks and feels. But yeah, I wanna get some of our other sort of costume dolls. Like even Dorothy would be great. She will be a great one to throw in. Perhaps in the middle, she's already sort of prepared to sit down. She'll be a nice one. So give her a shot. Let me go grab some other favorites. We've got a bunch over in the Disney cabinet. We can get Snow White.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. This is fun hanging out. I'm like answering your emails from my phone as we're filming. I feel like we're getting so much done. We're filming. We're like, it feels kind of like the old days. We used to film a lot more, and now we're trying to film as much as we possibly can. And in order to do that, we need to be filming what we do.
Right.
And it's working, right? It's working.
I think so.
Yeah, it's working. I love this one. This one was donated.
This little compo.
She's so sweet.
So beautiful. I love her face. So she'll be a good addition. I thought about doing Marie, but she's going to be so big.
Oh gosh, Marie Antoinette would be really fun.
You think?
Yeah.
I'll see if I can find a space for her because she's a big one. But
she's one of my absolute favorites.
I love that doll.
Oh my goodness. If you wanted just one doll and you really wanted a really special doll.
Wow. The detail on that and the rhinestone.
Get this one. I mean.
Yeah, truly, I don't know what else you could ask for.
I know. We kind of have something, it's not the same color, but we have something for the Grace. I mean,
You guys.
We haven't seen the sample yet, but we have something coming up. We should be getting the sample next month. That's.
We have so many incredible pieces.
I know.
I mean, actually, even the one for May is such a beautiful sort of similar silhouette.
I know. It's a very similar silhouette.
I think that one, well, I won't reveal anything, but that one is.
And Marsha's making shoes.
Yeah.
With bows on the front and court heels. I mean, it's so good.
Incredible.
Incredible. So we got to. We already pulled her out. So she's coming with us. But oh my goodness, I love her.
We have so many.
Yeah.
Oh, and I can grab some of the greenies, I think. Oh, actually, we might have a good spot just right perched back here.
Oh yeah.
How's that?
That's good.
Yeah, that doll is transcendent. I don't know what else.
What more do you need in a doll?
I know. I know. That is the fantasy. And it looks dark now, but I'll put some lights on this. You're seeing the set with just our store lights right now.
Yeah.
We don't have any of our studio lighting out, so you can also see how that sort of transforms and how balancing that will, sort of frame the shot.
It does make a big difference.
Huge difference. And especially if we're putting her out, I'll put a special light out, like I often do, just for this corner. But for now, I don't mind that as a place to start.
I love it.
Yeah, she's a knockout. That gown is so big that it won't even fit in the shelf, but I think she's nice back there.
I would want, like, if I could, if it was feasible, I would want to wear a dress every day that looked like I just stole your TV.
That's what I'm saying.
Underneath. And like, that would be me all the time.
Yeah.
Whap.
Yeah.
Whap.
Same.
Like, could you imagine?
You'd see me trying to go through the aisles at King Supers.
Yeah,
knocking
just
shelves off of both sides.
You'd have to go sideways through the bread aisle because it was so big.
I'd be making a mess.
Yeah.
I would not be accommodating anybody. I'd be in everyone's way. I'd be knocking things off of shelves. Bananas falling over, avocados tumbling down, just for me.
Raise the roof. Raise the roof at home if you would join
King
us.
Soopers.
Yeah, in King Supers. So we pulled in a couple more friends. I love it.
Just a way to fill in the wall a little bit. I love being able to utilize other dolls in the sets because, like, we're a doll shop and, like, this is not all that we do. And being able to highlight some of the other sort of fun and exciting and sometimes rare treasures is such a thrill for me. I love that part. But yeah, this is, I mean, just thinking about like the way that this will look when you're on camera and having lights on you, which is next, we'll get some lights on everything. I'll go finish those other 2 dolls and have a space for the box so that that's in frame, and when you pick it up, it makes sense and whatever. But I think this is, it's a fun way to play with the whimsy of the theme without being only this dress. You know, the Alice in Wonderland video, when we did for Grace, it was so many of the other props that just like made sense.
Right.
Not necessarily just that outfit. But
are you going to bring in any trunks or anything, or
I might just like one here that she's coming out
Yeah, I
of
think
or
that'd be
something.
fun.
I think so too, introducing it as
a dress-up trunk? Your boxes don't have a trunk, but there is a printable trunk, which is very cool. We could cut that out when we get the printables, but
sort of assemble that. I think I'll probably still go bring I've got 2 dolls at home I might throw in for color, because that's a lot of pink and blue, which is great, but I think a little pop of yellow would be really nice. So we'll see how those look, and then, you know, staging the rest of these. And I like a sort of, you know, cascading organic shape as far as the actual table goes. And sometimes it isn't a table at all. And, you know, it's lots of, you know, trying new things.
Fun fact, the wigs for Grace fit Anne. We very much need to make wigs. It is on our radar. We know it. But a lot of the wigs do work interchangeably. So that is nice. But the story behind this, you might have seen in my stories, but thought this was gone.
I was so sad.
Didn't you think it was it was gone forever?
4 months of looking, I was like,
After 4 months, we gave up, and I hate to ever give up, but we pretty much gave up. I kind of lost hope a little bit because we were looking for this tub for 4 months, and we finally went down to the pottery shop, and we were disassembling everything from our Tonnerfest event, and I had our projector propped on top of this for our video
with a cloth
over it, and it was sitting on a stool, and I saw it, and I was just said, Christopher, and I just pointed to it, and it was like,
let's just say my sailor mouth came out, and I was
he definitely had a few words, because we've been looking, and it's been months, and this is our own, some of these, it's our only example of these wigs.
Right, exactly.
From the beginning of Grace. Like, these are since the beginning of when I've done wigs.
Which is why it was such a big deal to me that we found them. And I'm so glad that we did. Thank you for finding them.
Yeah.
It was not looking good. The odds were against us, but in light of Anne, you know, having other hair options, she can share things with Grace while we still, you know, work on manufacturing wigs for her. And a lot of them are still, like, not only physically fitting, but also I think sort of like aesthetically. It's something you can sort of wiggle around. Now, I'm not being super particular about this exact wig because it's not going to be photographed, you know, up close, and we'll have it on camera for a video, but I'm not as concerned with like particular, you know, flyaways or what have you, because you're not really going to notice them quite as much in this setting. So I want something I can still put a tiara into, which, speaking of, let me grab more of.
This box is coming with tiaras and shoes, which are on the way, which are not here. So our customers we haven't seen them yet, but they'll be good. They'll be good. We know it's going to be fine. Hopefully they'll be here soon. By the time this airs, hopefully they're all out. But
so I will be staging some other creative shoe options for this video. But by the time, you know, everything else is ready. We'll have shoes shortly. So these are the same tiaras that we were offering size-wise for Elowen for December. And I'm just going and preemptively sort of curling over my comb so that it fits the sort of curvature of the head ever so slightly a little bit better. And then I'm just going to sort of wiggle that in while I hold the wig down.
Yeah. Reorder these wonderful crowns because they're just the perfect size.
Well, and with the other colors, they make so much sense for like play dress up, you know?
Right, exactly.
We're like...
So they are different because they are colored.
We have the clear crystal and the pink and the blue, some options for you. And then you can sort of just tussle that in while you readjust the hairline. You might want to play with that a couple of times, but more or less it's pretty straightforward. And I think the scale of that is so nice for her. With that hair, it's a little bit, you know, Snow White, maybe. I think that's so cute. So we'll stage a couple of these and get them all in the set ready for their close-up for our unveiling. And I think with this, we'll probably do sneakers. I think that feels good for this one.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So we've got the sneakers in the boutique. You can, I don't know if we have many of the pink left.
I think the pink did sell out, so a lot of our viewers actually have them.
Perfect.
But the sneaker idea is fun, yeah. And you can also use your jelly boots.
Of course, yeah. I think I'm gonna have the jelly boots on the blonde. So just popping those on. That color is like perfect with this. That looks so nice. So if you have these at home, I would consider utilizing them for this outfit, even though you will have a shoe option that we're releasing in conjunction with this. You know, many of our customers already have more than one and you can stage a couple of them with a couple different pairs of shoes, because why not? You know, get creative. Anyway, that's about that. Nothing super crazy, pretty straightforward. So she's got her accessory, she's got her shoes, she's got her hair. And again, that is not that is not my finest work for hair, but what I wanted was something that was slightly tamed and just ready for staging. So that works for me for this. Now for Blondie, I'll brush this through, sort of getting rid of my other hairs. Maybe we'll do like, let's see what other sort of accessories I have. Maybe she can hold one of those storybooks or something with this. This hair might be a little bit easier to get a tiara into, being that it's rooted and not wigged. At the very least, you're not like fighting. Sorry, this is gonna be loud. At the very least, with rooted hair, you're not fighting keeping it on. So I'm popping on the pink glittery cowboy boots that I think are they're so cute with this. I love that together. My tiara just fell out, but this will slide in a lot easier than some of the wigs do. So if that, you know, play with rooted, play with wig to see what you think. Pop her. Actually, I was going to pop her back on the stand, but before I do, I'm going to get one of our crinolines out for you to see. They are a perfectly fitted floor-length crinoline for this, but you can use these for like T-length dresses or skirts that we've put out for a Grace or Elowen size body, because those will fit sort of a T-length as well. But underneath this, you can see that it just sort of fills out the negative space of the first base layer skirt and gives it a little bit more fluff, but really, really fun. And the white you can, you know, use with anything. So let's get her on a stand. And then another shoe, you know, what is an outfit with only one shoe on? You got to complete the look, I guess. And then we'll go make sure that everybody else has shoes. And I might even use my February box there from last month to sort of just fill in the gap of like the silhouette of the set while I wait for things like printables to come in, because I need to have the box like staged and ready for the set, but I don't have all the things that are necessary inside of it here in the shop yet. So I'll use a different prop just to fill in the space so I can sort of plan where to put everything else. So does this look familiar? Does this look a little bit more like a set you might imagine, you know, seeing in a video? It's simpler than some, but this gives you an idea of what it looks like to construct the sort of format of this. And sometimes this setup is really elaborate, but I think a lot of that went into just staging this today. And this came together really quickly. Sometimes it takes a lot of time.
Well, a huge amount of your time really is pressing the garments. Yeah. That takes a half of a day sometimes.
It's or more.
Or more.
Ironing the garment and like situating hair and like all of that stuff. This, and sometimes, you know, models fall over and then you have to start from scratch, and like a lot. But you can tell that this is not the right box for
Yes,
this.
but I'm
This
glad
is
to see this. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I just want to say we have a friend out there who really wanted a pink one.
Oh,
and so we're going to
perfect.
send it to him. I just found that.
So this is this is how we sort of arranged the actual box itself. I've got a little easel in the back that I always use to set up cards and props and whatever. And we'll often have larger scale stories or images or illustrations that are blown up to fill, the space.
Show it more on camera.
This is sort of how that comes together. And then, is very toothpicks and dental floss and smoke and mirrors. But this part is so much fun. I love getting like in the zone, and while I'm often working with these pieces and ironing and getting a set together, I'm also thinking about the ways that I would describe it and like the things that I like best about it and how it works and how it fits and suggestions or recommendations I might make to you in the video. I'm often thinking about while I'm doing all of this. So it's also helpful for me to like be, in it and prepared and feel very prepared. And you'll see, well, when we have lights and everything, it'll all look very, very different. But this is sort of average day in the life preparing for an unboxing.
That's right. And our final clip of this video will be in a few days when we actually film. So we're filming a lot this week and it feels really good.
Yeah.
It feels really good.
Busy.
Hopefully we can find an antique trunk. I think that'd be so fun. Like,
I agree.
I know we've got some miniature ones. We have a trunk hoard upstairs, which is like,
we have quite a few.
yeah,
sort of
I
dollar trunks.
love trunks.
Yeah.
Antique doll trunks are they're a blast.
Maybe you'll have the box coming out of a trunk.
Oh yeah, that'd be super fun.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, Christopher always thinks of really fun stuff. And that is why I'm just so thankful to have such a creative team, both here and of course across the world. Really, we have people everywhere and it is just so great.
Yeah.
But here at the doll shop, it is wonderful. It also has enabled us to stay in business with how we do it. But also, Christopher, you have utilized so much of the things we have here.
Yeah.
It is extremely rare that we ever buy anything for a doll set.
We haven't
And that's
purchased
getting
anything
creative.
in a long time. You were very kind to indulge me about a year ago when I was like, I need buckets of flowers. I need just, heaps and heaps of flowers. And so I, got to use my company credit card to go buy silk flowers. And
Are those the ones that got thrown away?
I actually, on camera, I found them.
You did?
And I set a Paul aside one day and I said, I need to apologize to you because I thought we lost like hundreds of dollars of silk flowers in a renovation project. And I pulled Paul aside after he went through the dumpster to look for my flowers and didn't find them. And I said, Paul, I need to apologize to you. I'm so sorry. We found them and they were stashed behind that counter.
How come you didn't tell me? I think
forgot.
about those flowers every so often.
I am so sorry.
Just wondering where they went.
The flowers, they were behind that giraffe.
Oh my gosh.
I don't even know how they got back there.
We found the flowers. We found the wigs.
Yeah.
Was Paul very quick to forgive?
Yes, he was very, it's Paul, of course.
Yes, he was very sweet about it.
Very gracious.
Yeah, but that was very nice of Paul because he literally went in the dumpster and looked through because we had just done a big clean out.
Yeah.
But it was like, but anyway, that was an investment of, I think we spent around $400 at the time, but we have used them in so many sets.
Yeah.
So still, what we do is very cost effective with using the things we have here, which I'm very grateful for.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, we'll see you in a few days on the last clip, but this was fun. Thank you for doing this, Christopher.
Yeah, sure. This was an easy one. So maybe next time we take on a really big, gnarly project.
Yeah.
Next time I want to do a Christmas display. Maybe we do.
Yeah, that'd be fun. That'd be fun. Yeah, this is fun. Okay, see you in a minute.
So welcome to our film set. This is filming day, so now we have all the last finishing touches put into details in the set and the boxes assembled, and you can see everything that comes inside. You can see we have studio lights up now, so everything is nice and bright and really showcased appropriately. And then you'll have one of us scuttle back here, and now you're in the video. Now we're in an unboxing. So you can see the product, you can see our add-on, you can see the set, and all the fun goodies that you're gonna get. And this was a pretty standard example of that. Sometimes it's even simpler, and sometimes it's much more elaborate. So I hope this was a fun insight, and I don't know, maybe we'll do some other more, fun, complicated ones in the future, a real challenge we can show you behind the scenes of.
That's right. Thank you so much, Christopher. And if you did enjoy this behind the scenes, let us know. We'd be glad to make more. This was really fun to share this time. So we'll see everybody on the next video. Bye.